I'm Jeff.
I'm Donna.
And this is
The Meador Effect.
Out in Arizona where Saguaro Grove live Jeff and Donna Meador and their TV show. Talking about love and the things they do. Bringing peace and joy to people like you. It's the Meador Effect.
And this is
The Meador Effect.
It's the Meador Effect. It's their sincere desire to have an effect. As a matter of fact, it's the Meador Effect. It's the Meador Effect. It's the Meador Effect. It's the Meador Effect. It's the Meador Effect.
Welcome. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. Baby, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about, I'm glad you asked, firsts. Firsts.
Firsts in life. Your life firsts.
Life's first. First date, first walk on the beach, first time you hold hands, first time you ever taste, I don't know, lemon juice.
Lemon juice?
Yeah, I
How about
know.
limoncello?
Yeah, that's even better. I remember the first time. I remember the first time I tasted limoncello.
Yeah.
So life's first, so important.
Well, it is important. And let me ask you this. Why do you think it's important? I'll answer it, and then we'll start having a lot of fun.
It's like a trick question, ladies. Don't fall for it. So here's what's really interesting is I didn't really think about life's first until I met you.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever knew about was life's first, the first time I had intimacy. That's really what I always equated first, right?
Yeah.
But when you came along and you were telling me about how you always tell your kids to guard your first holding your hand, your first walk on the beach, the things we talked about, I'm like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Wow, I could really go back in time and think about all the different first times I've done certain things. And so it's really very exciting. And one time I remember saying to you, babe, wow, I never woke up to a fire in my fireplace before. Because that was a first, right? Nobody had ever built a fire for me in the fireplace. So when I got out of bed and opened the door to the bedroom, I saw the fire burning. I didn't realize that. And you said, well, you can't say that anymore now, can you? Because I just experienced a first.
Yes. And when my kids were younger, I would tell them, look, guard your first. Why? Because you can never get them back. You can never get them back. Now, I'm not saying don't ever do anything with anybody, but just be mindful if there is something in your heart, especially, now I'm going to talk to the young people out here who are not married, who are basically getting started in life. Guys, I'll talk to you first. If there's something you've always dreamed about doing with your wife one day when you get married, don't do it with anybody else. Girls, if you always dreamed, maybe it's like, oh, I've always dreamed about my husband and me when I do get married, riding a horse down the beach. Don't do it with anybody else. Once you give that up, you can never make that statement again.
That's really interesting. I'd have to really think about that. Okay. So, wow. I don't know what to say about that. So, I never thought, did you really think like that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. I never thought to myself, well, I'm going to get on that roller coaster for the first time, but wait, let me save it until I get married. I mean, is that what you're saying? Because I don't know. That's like,
well, there were certain things. There were certain things that I didn't want to give up. I wanted to experience that with my wife. Now, for me to get on a roller coaster, that just meant, yeah, okay, whatever. I didn't like roller coasters. So
well, I don't either,
I didn't want to share that with somebody. I just wanted to get it over with. But there are a lot of things that we take for granted when we are going along. And also, if you are already in a committed long-term relationship, think about new first. Now, that's one of the things in my heart when we were talking about doing this episode that I wanted to bring up. If you want to keep your relationship exciting, if you want to keep it fresh, and now I'll challenge the guys. Think about ways to surprise her
I'm listening
that you've never done for anybody else before. And life can get very, very exciting. There were a number of restaurants I've wanted to go to for years and years. And Donna and I, the first time I went there, it was with Donna. And that's such a wonderful, wonderful memory for me to have. And every time I go by that place, where I think about that place, I'm thinking of Donna and I.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I love you, but I do have to back up a little bit. Yeah, because I didn't. When you're 15 or 13 or 19, you only have that many years of life in you. You only have
Yeah.
that many years of wisdom or awareness in you.
Yeah.
So even if I was to do something with a boyfriend, but then 20 years later did that same thing with my husband, it would still be a first for me. Like I would, that's still a first. That's still a first experience, because the dynamics between every two people are different.
Yeah.
So I have to say, not that I disagree with you, but I don't agree with you.
Well, I will say this then, in my defense, I agree with you.
No, seriously. I mean, you have an incredible mind, honey. You're able to remember things that you did. My goodness, you tell me stories of things that you've done in your young years, your early teens. I'm like, who remembers this stuff? He does. So maybe that's why he's such a great songwriter, because he remembers these things. But for me, like, I don't know, honey. Most of the stuff I've done with you has been a first, because you are so incredible about how you present things to me. I mean, how you do things for me. You go out of your way to think about ways to surprise me. That's a first.
Well, it is also, I want to build on what you said.
Okay.
Donna and I have a great relationship. I love this woman with all my heart. She's touched me in ways I've never been touched, and I really feel like a new man. I think the last time I felt like this was when I made a commitment to give my heart to the Lord, and when I got through, I was like, wow. And the scriptures tell us, when you do that, you are a new creation. You're a new creature. And when I met Donna, it was like another transition in my life to where I felt completely new. So in a lot of instances, when I do things with you, I do feel like it's a first.
Right.
And
Good
so,
point.
and as a couple, you want to treasure those firsts.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side is don't treasure them so much that you start to neglect doing other things, or doing it again if it's something she loves. But, hey, remember the first time I gave you flowers? Not really. It was 12 years ago.
I do like when you warm the bed for me in the winter. And I do remember the first time you brought me flowers, because, and this is the first, I will say this is the first. On our second date, Jeff comes over. Now, mind you, it's a second date. I'm not really sure how serious this thing is, because he's looking for a wife and I'm not looking for a husband. And so, well, I was just, to be fair to the audience, let me just say I had been widowed and had just started dating. And I met Jeff about 6 months in from starting to date. So
Yep.
I really wasn't looking for that kind of relationship. But on our second date, he comes in carrying, no, not flowers, okay,
A box.
a box from Amazon. I'm like, a box? I'm like, what do you have in that box?
It's not just any box. It's an Amazon box.
That was a first for sure. And then I'm like, wow. So he opens up. We get I'm like, what? And mind you, he doesn't even let me open it up, right? It's like he's opening it up and he's showing me the box. I'm like,
I was excited.
yeah. And it was a small humidor.
For cigars.
For cigars. And I do enjoy an occasional cigar here and there.
Yeah.
And he brought me a humidor. I would have been happy with flowers, but you know what? A humidor was beautiful.
The flowers
I love
would have
it.
been gone 3.5 years ago, and she still has the humidor.
True.
Now, the reason
That's
I
good.
got her the humidor, by the way, is her late husband, Pietro, when he passed away, he was a cigar smoker, and she gave his humidor to his best friend, Charlie,
Yeah.
who is now one of my dear friends.
Yes.
But she didn't have a humidor. And if you like an occasional cigar and you don't have a humidor, that can be a problem. And I thought, wow, what a great gift. Now, for those of you who have watched the show for a while and watched the episode about gift giving, you know there's somebody that really sucks at giving gifts. And in this situation here, he's the male part.
Well, to be fair, okay, I got to go off to gifts for a second. Yes, when you took the test for the love languages, gifts ranked 0. Zero. So I give you a lot of credit for bringing me a gift because that was really something. The fact that it wasn't wrapped and there wasn't a bow on it, irrelevant. And the fact that you opened it up and pulled it out and showed me.
Time out. It was boxed. It was in an Amazon box, and it had tape on it.
Right, exactly. I do cherish my wooden humidor box today. It's part of our decor in our living room. But anyway, now I'm off the track here. What were we talking about?
We're talking about important things. It was a present. It's tiger wood, for crying out loud.
And it was a first, because I'll tell you right now, I never got a humidor as a gift from anybody.
I'm going to say it's probably the only time you've gotten a humidor as a gift.
That's true. It is. So that was great. So
it's a first and only.
And every time I look at it, I remember what happened, right? So, of course, here we are. That was our second date. Here we are, married and years later, and it still lives in our home. And anyway, so firsts are so important, but I'm going to say again that it doesn't matter if you had a first with a boyfriend 20 years ago or you had a first with somebody else. It's still special. The here and the now is special.
Yes.
Well,
again, you need to celebrate the first that you have. Because again, you can't, quote unquote, save everything for just one person. You live life, you love life. And you begin to work on yourself to become the person you want to be so that you can enjoy not only your life, but the person that you're with, you can help enhance hers or his life. Yeah. So, and the last show I had written the verse of a song that...
last night, actually. You wrote it last night. Or 2 weeks ago, or whatever, one night.
You're helping me. Okay. Don't help me.
Okay.
But no, I wrote the song, I wrote the verse out, and then wrote the chorus, and I wanted to sing you the completed verse and chorus.
Oh, yay.
People keep telling me, what should I say? Life's getting harder with each passing day, and the days go by. The path that's before me seems hard and so long. I ask myself if it's right or it's wrong, and the days go by. They roll by in an instant, they're gone, and I sit there and I ask myself why. They move on like old girlfriends of mine. I grow older and I ask myself where my life's gone. So I promise to live a full life from now on. I promise to live a full life from now on.
Oh, wow. So I heard the beginning part a couple of episodes ago, but this one, now with the full song, is, baby, that is so awesome. So proud of you.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring that up and sing it, life rolls on. Life rolls by.
Yeah.
If you are not being deliberate about your life, you're going to blink, and guys, years are going to go by. Is that what you want in your relationship? Again, we talk about relationships with your significant other, with your spouse. You need to be deliberate in what kind of life you want to have with them. Wow. We're always talking about personal development, and we talk about you bring about what you think about. So my question for you, what are you thinking about?
And the fact that we talk about first brings us back to, there are times when obviously you work all day, so you're not home. And I'm at home, and I'm trying to think of something I can do that's different for Jeff, that he's never seen, never experienced. I want to create a first because I want that, because I know that quality time and acts of service is your number one love language. So I want to do that, right? So it's really interesting, though, gang, when you start talking about first, it's also going to be in relation to their love language. And if you're younger, you may not be aware of this now, but if you seek out love languages or go to meadoreffect.com, we have resources there. You'll learn more about other people, your parents, your best friends, your girlfriend, your spouse, your fiance, what speaks to them the loudest. So that's why I do what I do. And I know that's why you set up a fireplace for me because I just love that.
And it can even translate over to where you work. We had a new employee at my company, and right away, I figured out my very last thing is his number one. Gift giving is important to him. And so it's which also tells me what I need to do to let him know I appreciate his efforts and how he's doing.
Right.
So again, it's these things that we talk about, they will translate into every area of your life.
Yeah.
Every area of your life.
So good. So good. You know, I know this episode is about first. We love talking about your first experiences with things. But I do want to bring up one thing. When I learned that my father, now we're going back 20 years ago, my father's love language was acts of service. And for me at that time, it was zero. It didn't mean anything to me. I just figured I could do it myself. I didn't need anybody to do whatever, right? And when I realized that acts of service was my dad's number one, why? He made sure we were provided for. He took care of the house. He mowed the lawns. He
Take you to the airport.
Took us to the airport, right, as we're growing up. So all these things. And when I realized that, that's when I realized my father loved me.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I never felt it prior to that.
And
so that was a first.
And can I also say for you, that was a first, yeah.
Yeah, that was a first.
That was a first that you had recognition and understanding of your dad and really his heart towards you.
Right.
So, and guys, I just want to encourage you so much. Start on your personal development. If you want to have great firsts, you need to be becoming the person you want to be.
Start thinking about what first you want to do for your special someone.
Well, yeah.
Take notes.
Yeah. But, and by the way, and we say this on every episode, one of the pillars of having a great relationship is personal development. If you don't know where to start, go to meadoreffect.com. We have a list of books for you to pick up and start reading, to work on yourself. There are so many things you can do. Don't stay where you're at. If you don't make the decision and act upon that decision to change yourself, you're never going to change. And in so doing, your life's not really going to change.
I want to bring something up. I just I just had a moment, gang. I just had a moment. So you know how you say in the beginning, you said, if you have a special first that you want to do with your wife one day, and you're not married, let's say you're 30 or 20 or whatever, you're not married yet, but you know that there's a special thing you want to do, whether it is you want to get married in Italy or whatever that is. Today, people refer to that, and I don't like this term, but they refer to that as a bucket list.
Okay.
They refer a lot to it. People will say, because that's what? A special moment at a special time with a special somebody.
Yeah.
Typically doing something special, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the bucket list label, but when we think about saving a first for a special moment in time, that's what we're talking about.
Well, see, to me, a bucket list, though, is things that you want to do in your life. I want to go to a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Before you die, right?
That's usually when it's easier to do something is before you die. It's easier to go to the Super Bowl while you're alive than after you die.
Details.
I'm just saying.
If I want to see,
man, I wanted to have a sip of that whiskey, and now I'm dead.
If I want to see Andrea Bocelli in person,
there you go.
I would like you to take me.
Yes.
And
let's do it while we're both still alive.
Good point.
Because otherwise I would be there with an urn with her ashes saying, baby, are you enjoying this?
Okay, all right.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I think that makes sense, gang. You can tell me. I don't know. Leave me a note on the website. Well, that's super cool. So, all right, so what?
No, again, I was going to say, guard your heart, guard your mind, guard your firsts. It is one of those things that it can easily slip away. And if you're not cognizant, and what popped into my mind, are you even cognizant of the first you want to have?
Right.
Are you even thinking about your bucket list?
Probably not.
I mean, if you want to go to, a World Series game, for instance, since I've been throwing out some sports things, who do you want to go with? have you thought about it? And a lot of people will do things like this. They'll say, yeah, okay, my bucket list, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they never really give it any thought, and they never make a determination to actually follow through and make it happen.
It sort of correlates with dream boards that people do.
Mhm.
Again, here's something they see in the vision they want
Yeah.
to accomplish, whether it's a first or a goal. It sort of goes along the same lines,
Yeah.
right? But you've got
Yeah.
to be deliberate in thought, in action, in words,
In life.
in life.
In life. Guys, she just said it. You have to be deliberate in life. If you are not deliberate in life, you're just going to exist. And then what's going to happen is life is going to happen to you.
Right.
And one of the things that, again, it's another one of these nuggets that I've gotten from Donna. She said, things don't happen to us. They happen for us. And you have a decision to make in your life. Do you want things to happen to you or for you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real.
That's real. And I will say very quickly that when I realized that I was dating again and my husband had passed, and it really gave me an understanding of my next step, I had a deliberate thought about what type of man I wanted to be with next, and I wanted somebody with depth. And that was a very specific thought, and it left a strong impression in my gut. So
Guys,
I just
thank
want to
you.
pass that along.
Okay. Well, thank you. And as always, it's our sincere desire that the Meador Effect have an effect on you.
It's that